What's up, influencers? That's right, we're going to be talking about the #1 hack to get attention on both social media and on YouTube. You know, there's fewer shortcuts. There's really not a lot of hacks that work today like they used to back in the day. There was all kinds of things you could do to like kind of game the system and get the attention, outside of the best practices and the principles, the things that really matter when it comes to online video and just killing it and crushing it on social media. So today we're going to be talking about the #1 hack and how you can utilize it and the best practices. So let's go ahead and jump into it now.
This video is brought to you by VidIQ, the #1 Chrome extension for YouTubers looking for on-point data analysis, research resources, and enhanced video creator tools. Start getting more views in less time today by signing up for free at vidiq.com/influence. That's vidiq.com/influence.
That's right. If you guys aren't, follow us on social media, and we are helping build your influence, income, and impact with online videos. If you guys are new here, click that subscribe button. Leave a comment with your questions. We always love answering them right here on the broadcast and afterwards in the comments area. So we're talking about the #1 hack. Now, when I originally was going to do this video, I was thinking about doing multiple hacks, but this one just works so well. I want to cover it in one video for you guys. And if you guys have been on social media and YouTube for a long time, you know that there used to be all kinds of things you could do to game the system, to get in front of people, to kind of get that artificial attention initially. Well, those are all gone. The algorithm is really good about getting that relevant content in front of the audience to get them to stay on the platform longer and longer. And when you're gaming it, you're hacking it, it just doesn't cut it. Now, this one hack is something I'm really excited to dive into. And that hack is this: simply go live. If you don't believe me, let me show you what I'm talking about how good it works. So when I'm online, whether it's on an app, on social media, or on YouTube, I always get notified, or at least see when people are live, right? Like it's at the top of my feed. So what I want to do, like literally this morning, was show you that it does work. And so this first screenshot that I'm going to be sharing with you guys is 3 different Instagram profiles showing you what they were seeing when I went live. And as you can see, literally, the video influencers live stream pops up on all 3 of their feeds. This is literally 3 different people, you guys. 3 different people, 3 different Instagram profiles that follow so many different other people in the world. And the video influencers live went in front of them. Okay, like that notification, that little live button. Let's actually cut back to it. So it's very obvious. It's right there. And, it wasn't even planned. It was like last minute. There wasn't a lot of people on there. I literally just did it to test it out to see if it would pop up on people's feeds. So that was the first thing. So let's actually take a look at another platform. I even went live on Periscope. I know a lot of people don't use it. But on Periscope, which feeds out to Twitter, look at this. Boom. That's right. The very first, and these are 2, I think that maybe one person hasn't downloaded the latest Twitter app. I don't know why it looks different, but literally when these 2 people went on their Twitter app, when I was going live on Periscope, which also feeds to Twitter, my live broadcast shows up on their feed. This is the very first thing on their feed, which is really significant because, again, we're talking about what is going to actually get you attention, right? And if you've been on social media and YouTube for long enough and you've been posting, you know that every one of your posts doesn't get in front of people. So this is really significant that like already on 2 platforms, I can prove today, I just did this like an hour or 2 ago, that my broadcast, when I was broadcasting on these different platforms, got in front of people. All right. Because I know you're not convinced yet, I even went live on Facebook. So let's take a look at Facebook. All right. These are 3 different feeds. The two ones on the sides are a app on someone's phone. The middle one is my desktop. I was signed into my personal account on another browser. And as you can see, boom, video influencers live on Facebook showing up. This is the first thing that people are seeing when I'm going live. And so just to prove a point too, I don't go live on those platforms very often. I don't even engage as much as I do here on YouTube. So this is really significant. I'm going live for the first time in a long time. And when I ask other people to screenshot what's the first thing that pops up, it's that live stream. So even on mine, right? Like on the desktop computer, I refreshed my computer as I was going live streaming to the video influencers Facebook page, and it's showing up. Look at this. This ain't fake. This is real. This was literally today. So that's really exciting. We're going to get into why that is happening and how do you utilize it. Because for Sean and I, we want to help you get more views, right? Which means you have to not only work it here on YouTube and know the best practices, do what's in this book, which is called YouTube Secrets, but you've got to know how to get traffic to you. So it's not just here on this platform, but on social media as well. And why I'm so excited about this is because it works so well. Let me know in the comments area when you are browsing through some kind of social media app, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, even Twitter. When someone goes live, does it pop up? Is it something that you see again and again? Now, you can't just simply go live. We're going to be talking about some best practices, but let's talk about why this actually works. What is the reasoning for it? So number one, why does it work? Well, the first reason is it gets in front of people. And the platforms, they're doing this. They want to get your live broadcast in front of people's eyeballs for a couple different reasons. And let's talk about that. Massive engagement. So if you're not familiar with what massive engagement is, we're talking the likes, we're talking the comments, we're talking the shares, and the back and forth conversation. For whatever reason, live just works. Like it gets people connected and feeling like they're connecting to the influencer. You know, the one thing about a video you put it out, people watch it, but they know you're not on the other side. Like it's just a static video that's just playing. And yes, they do engage, but they're really leaving a comment hoping you read it later. But when you're live, there's a high chance that that person that's going live will actually read that comment and it starts feeling like a conversation. So let's look at another point here. People love it. Okay, so we're talking about people love it, right? We just mentioned that, but why do people love it? The reason people use social media, and correct me if I'm wrong, is because they feel like they're connecting with people with similar passions. They're learning from somebody that's an expert, someone they look up to, and that connection is what really builds a relationship and eventually trust. So with live streaming, you're literally connecting with them directly, and people feel like that they're trying to get to that point where they're actually hanging out with them. And when you're live streaming, that's what it feels like. Now, you're not there in person physically, but it's so close that when you hear your influencer or the creator that you're following, even your friend, respond to one of your comments, your mind is blown. I know that like I went on people's live stream, like people that I look up to or follow on social media, and when they reply to my comment, it's pretty crazy because normally I wouldn't get to talk to them because maybe they're a celebrity, they're super busy, they don't live where I live. And when they respond, it's like, wow, that's like starting of a conversation. And then you can deep dive into, different tactics around that. And we're going to talk about those things. Like on Instagram, for example, you can actually have a co-host. You can bring in some of your viewers, and have that conversation. Very, very powerful. But let's move on here. Keeps people on the platform. Now, this is a huge point that I hope I can really drive home why this is working. Why going live is one of the biggest hacks that gets you in front of people, gets people's attention, eventually views on your videos. There's two goals of all these apps and these platforms, including here on YouTube. Number one, get you to their app or to their website or to their platform. Two, keep you on there as long as possible. When you're going live for whatever reason, because you feel connected, because that influencer is responding back to not just your comments, but other people, and you feel like you're hanging out, you tend to hang out there longer. And in fact, right now, I'm going live and I'm seeing your guys' comments, right? I'm Carla, what's going on? Here, actually, I should refresh this. But I know that you're right there, and you know that I know that you're right there, and that we're talking. So that hanging out, especially here on YouTube, it's adding to your watch time. It's adding to the amount of amount of time that you're spending on the platform, and the platforms love it. So they give it a lot of love. This is why they're placing people's notifications of their live streams in front of people's feeds so quickly. So do not discount going live, because it is working so well. Literally ask yourself this: why are you watching me right now? You probably went to YouTube, opened up the app, and you saw a notification for this live stream pop up, right? There's a little red button at the bottom right that says live. And whether, that's what brought you, or maybe the title or the thumbnail, like you came in here. But the live stream happening is what triggers the algorithm to put this in front of you, oftentimes at the top of your feed. So let's dive into that. What are the pro tips to making the most of it? Well, the number one thing is prepare. You want to definitely prepare your live streams as if you were recording a video. And what I mean is this: number one, always be thinking about what is the value someone's going to get out of me going live and talking to me. It can be as simple as engagement, but be very purposeful in it, right? Like, know that you're going to have people asking questions or saying hi, and you're going to be responding and you're going to be engaging. But more important than that, like, say you are an expert at something, you teach something on YouTube. When you go live, whether on YouTube or on social media, make sure you're delivering value. Make sure that you're prepared and you almost script yourself about what you're going to be talking about, so that when people click on the live stream, they stay there. Like, sometimes, have you ever seen someone go live and they're really not talking about anything? They're kind of like casually walking around, maybe going shopping, and it's just boring, right? There's no value there. Versus somebody like me right now, who's actually trying to teach you something. Like, you're going to get something out of it. So prepare it as if it was a video in itself. We're talking a hook. We're talking the actual value, call to actions. Just really think about, like, what is going to make this live broadcast, no matter if I'm on Twitter, if I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, or on YouTube, what is going to make them want to watch this and stay longer? Because again, one of the powers is the fact that people will hang out longer. All right. So value, then engagement. And let me tell you what that means. All right, got to get some coffee. Value, then engagement. So we talked about preparing and knowing and being very purposeful about what you're going to offer, but definitely engage. But you want to engage afterwards. Now, here on this broadcast, I did say hi to you guys real quick, but I'm going to deep dive into engagement at the end, because I'm more focused on what you're going to get out of it versus connecting. But definitely you want to respond to people. So at the end of this broadcast, I'm going to be answering some questions, right? I'm going to be chatting with you guys, because again, the reason broadcasts and going live is so important to you, the viewer that's watching this, is because of that connection. So don't just go and rattle off a whole bunch of stuff and not acknowledge that people are there. That's why I like to say hi to people when they're watching this, all right? Let's go ahead and move on here. There's a lot to talk about in terms of best practices. The next pro tip is native best practices. So what I mean here is, make sure you think about each platform that you're about to go live on and what is going to be the best framework for that. Because Twitter is going to be a much different strategy than on YouTube. And we're going to dive into each one of those and what I mean. But again, just like a video, when you create a video, you don't edit a YouTube video and then literally upload the exact same thing on everywhere else, because the amount of time people actually spend on each post is going to be different based on the platform and user behavior. The call to actions, the outro, all that stuff, right? Like, you can put it on there, but it's not going to make sense. intent. So you want to cater every video when you're uploading it to different platforms to that platform and what's unique about that and that user behavior. Same thing with live broadcasts. There's some best practices that are going to work better than other on other platforms, but not on this one. All right. First thing, let's talk about Twitter. Okay, so for Twitter, when you're going live, my suggestion is make it conversational. You know, I'd say like make it shorter than longer, but definitely you still want to add value, but the thing about Twitter, it is the water cooler of the world. It's where people go to literally talk to each other. If you don't know what a water cooler is, it's like where you have water in an office, but oftentimes you see people hanging out around that water cooler and getting water, but they're staying to chat with their friends, right? Maybe somebody that works across the office or a different building and they're getting some water. Maybe not a different building, and I'm crazy. Walk to another building for water. Point is, it's that conversation. So when you post a tweet, oftentimes there's no picture, no video, right? It's just a tweet, and people start having the discussion. Well, treat your live broadcast just that same way. Still want to add value, but focus more on the conversation. All right. Next tip here is YouTube. As you guys know, because you're watching this on YouTube, YouTube is all about value. What is it that they're going to get out of it? There's something that people expect. It's a search engine where people are searching for something and they are trying to get an answer to a question, or they're going to a channel because there's an expectation of the type of content they're going to be getting. So make sure when you go live, you think evergreen. You want to make sure you're going live and producing something that could literally live on forever. So this one, as you saw, there was an intro. I talked about what I was going to talk about. Now I'm talking about what you want to know, and then I'll end the video. What's powerful about going live on YouTube is it becomes a video afterwards if you put your settings correctly. So after this will go on and live on as a video. As people are searching, people could find this video and get value out of this if they're looking for a hack on social media that gets them attention. So we always do this. We always make sure that we're creating something. This is where the preparation is key, where you know what you're going to be talking about. You're scripting yourself so it's all in your brain, and then you deliver that value. So think about the evergreen strategy because it's really important here on YouTube, whether it's short or a long video. All right, next, Facebook. And we're going to also talk about Instagram, but this is what's different about Facebook. So Facebook and Instagram, great platforms. I use it. I know literally millions of people, hundreds of millions of people use those platforms, but the videos, they don't really live on like they do on YouTube. So my suggestion is you definitely want to still add value, but really focus on engaging. Another thing I would suggest, go longer, like do live streams that are really long, because since it's not going to live on as a video, you know, it's just all about reaching those people. And since Facebook and Instagram, as you saw earlier in the earlier slides, is promoting people's live streams, it's your moment. It's your chance to connect with them, right? You're going to prove to them that their time they're spending clicking on your Facebook Live or Instagram Live a notification is going to be worth it. Add the value, but engage, go into depth, right? And another thing with Instagram specifically, you can save it into your stories. So you should definitely do that, because if you know anything about Instagram, as you're tapping through your stories, it'll be there, right? It'll be an option. Look at someone's story or look at their Instagram live stream. So the last one I want to talk about is something that maybe a lot of people don't know, is actually the reason I was inspired to do this. LinkedIn. You better get ready. I'm telling you, it's going to be a game changer. So the reason I even wanted to do this and talk about this hack and why it works so much is because of LinkedIn. Now, it's very limited who has access to it. But the point I'm trying to make, and the inspiration for all of this, is LinkedIn just started doing live streaming for some of its users. I don't know how they pick them, right? But every time someone goes live that's in my sphere of influence or connection, I don't know how it's called, I get a notification on my phone. I don't even know how to turn it off. But what I recognize is LinkedIn is pushing that. I rarely get any other notifications. For some reason, that shows up. And they're promoting it for all those reasons. The reason LinkedIn wants people to go live and for people to consume that live, it's going to bring them into the platform through that notification or through like their feed and seeing someone go live. And two, it's going to keep them on the platform longer. You know, LinkedIn was all about connecting, networking, really, like having that web of relationships to make things happen. Well, more and more it's becoming a social media platform. So that hanging out on LinkedIn, watching someone go live and consuming that content, really, really important to recognize. And once that's released, I'm telling you, LinkedIn Live will be one of the greatest things for business people. Now, if you're a creator here on YouTube and you're not really interested in business, you're just interested in creating content, maybe not as relevant. But if you're interested in business, if you're a businessman, definitely. Because the thing about LinkedIn, that's where the gatekeepers, that's where the CEOs, the bosses, the business owners, that's where they connect, that's where they hang out. So if you want to be exposed to opportunities or network with the right people, then LinkedIn is where it's at. Now, as you saw, I went live on all the platforms, not LinkedIn, because I don't have that yet. So I could prove a point, but also so that I can get your attention, right? Like literally, it was on the first posts on people's feeds when they went to the apps. And those were 3 different people, okay? Plus my computer. And we're in different places as well. Whew, that was a lot. If you guys want to learn more about this, you guys can see our whole playlist where we talk about best practices for going live. We'll put all the links down below. And I'm just excited about this. If you guys truly want to get people's attention, and even if you don't have a huge influence right now and you've only got like 100, maybe 300 friends on Facebook or some other platform, it's a great place to start. And using this tool of going live is a great way to almost get your content prioritized, even if it's a live stream. And remember, if you prepare it like a video, you can still add value. And here on YouTube, it'll live on as an evergreen video. And what I like about that, no editing needed. Now, I personally use vMix, which lets you switch out slides and use different angles. But even if you didn't have that technology, have some post-it notes or whatever, use some visuals, create engagement and great visuals by getting creative, okay? All right, we're gonna move into Q&A. Thank you guys so much. If you guys wanna see all of our videos when it comes to live streaming, click or tap the screen right here. If you guys wanna see all of our videos here on Video Influencers, click or tap the screen right here. This was exciting.